Hi, everybody. This is the Paper Tiger. Thought I'd put down some of my beloniums as the dog does his evening zoomies around the house. So many people have incredible life stories where they've done incredible things and adventures, and I'd rather think that most of the things that have happened to me and I've done have really made me look more like Jerry Lewis than Chuck Norris. And I'm going to tell a few, and we'll see if you guys agree. When I was younger, I really had no prospects, so I went in the Army. And I decided I was going to be an MP. Okay, MP, I got to drive, You're in combat, you're driving Humvees and doing all kinds of crazy, incredible stuff. All right, let's go. So went to MP school. It was pretty uneventful. The usual grind: get up, do PT, go change, eat, day of classroom, physical fitness training, go to range. You learn all the stuff you need to learn. A lot of the laws and Uniform Code of Military Justice. And when you leave, you think, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm a real police officer. So I got to my first unit, Fort Shafter, Hawaii. How I got so lucky, I don't know. Stationed in Hawaii. So we're standing there in the first sergeant's office. We just got off the plane. I've got this packet of useless paperwork, and he pulls out my paperwork and he looks at it and he goes, "So there's like 15 copies of one order, and you were told to keep this?" "Yes, First Sergeant, and you kept it." He goes, "Okay, you passed the first test." I'm like, "Wow, what a great test." And then he looks me over and he goes, "Okay, we'll get y'all signed in when you're going to be in first platoon." So he moves on to the next guy and punches him square in the face. And I'm standing at attention, and the guy in the middle is the one who got punched in the face. The guy on the other side is with me, and we're standing there too scared to move. First sergeant is kicking the baloney out of this guy. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to stand here and do what I'm supposed to do. Hopefully he doesn't turn around and start kicking my butt. Tears the guy's shirt off him. "I'm going to make sure you're out of this army." And, well, it seems the guy had a pair of combat jump wings. Brand new private. Now, combat jump wings. What the first sergeant didn't know was this guy went to airborne school. And while he was in airborne school, they all went to Grenada. And there was this, they kind of took everybody that was there. You jumped into Grenada, you landed on the ground. You marched to the airstrip, you had a nice lunch, you got on the plane, you flew back. Combat jump wings, which is, it's just a numbers game. But the guy literally had combat jump wings. It was in his file. And so he's laying there, he's sitting there bleeding, blood's pouring out of his nose. And the first sergeant goes, "Oh, sorry." Moves on to the third guy, who's now so punchy. Waiting, okay, you did this, you did that, okay, good. Okay, you're going to be in third platoon. And you, Bloody Bob over here, you're going to be in second platoon. See, the problem with Hawaii, everybody who was a drill sergeant put in for their wish list station as Hawaii, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go goof around for 4 years." My next duty station is going to be, great. We're going to go to luau's. It's going to be great. I'm just going to relax after, And that's kind of what they thought they were going to do. So, first platoon had 7 staff sergeants, E6s, and me. Guess who gets all the crap detail? I'm the only one who lives in the barracks. Beautiful barracks, too. So I'm sitting there with 9 E6s, and there's an E6 in charge. Okay, let's go to work, Draw my weapon. We march to the MP station. We get in our cars, and I'm like, I've never done this before. Should I drive with one of you guys? He says, nah, just get in the car, go. I'll call you on the radio if I want you to do something. Okay. So I'm done driving around. I'm going, okay, thank gosh I got a map, and doing all this stuff. And I get my first call, domestic violence, and I hear, because we were Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Alpha 4, and it's depending on where you were driving that day. I was Alpha 4, and the sergeant calls, Alpha 4, meet me at the shopette. We'll go in as a team. Okay, go to the shopette and what was called the Aliamanu housing area. And it was a big volcano crater with houses all the way around. So we go to the house, and the husband had slapped the wife. And I'm thinking, okay, so we're going to arrest him. We're going to, take her to the hospital. And, this is what's going through my mind. And they go, okay, well, lady, if you don't like it, get the hell out. If we would have wanted him to get married, we would have issued him a wife. Okay. You want to go to the barracks and cool off for the night? Yeah, okay, I'll drive you to the barracks. Nothing. I'm like, that sounds kind of odd. But things went on and on and on. And, pretty soon, I'd been there a year. Random calls, a lot of suicides. And it was the first Christmas. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning. And we get a phone call of a suicide. So we go there, and there was a 14-year-old girl who had swallowed a bottle of pills so she wouldn't have to tell her father she was pregnant. And they found her when they went to wake her up to open Christmas presents. Oh my God, this is terrible. Mom's crying, Dad is inconsolable. She left a great note blaming Dad. Gee, Dad, I could never talk to you about it, so I knew I had to end my life, blah, blah, blah. So they take the body away, and the post sergeant major, who was out delivering Christmas presents to the needy families, pulled up, and he's looking at us going, you know what, guys, you're done for the night. You 3 guys, come on. And he got us in Santa Claus outfits. And we would run up to people's houses, knock on their door, and give them Christmas presents for their kids. Things like socks, underwear, toys, blah, 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 blah. The necessities, food, Christmas dinner, things like that they asked for. So we're out having a great time, Totally forgot that horror show that we'd seen earlier. And when we were done, the sergeant major pulls us aside, and he pulls out his pocket, and he whittles off $200. And he goes, you guys go have a drink. Have a Merry Christmas on me. Thanks, Sergeant Major. Well, at the time, I was in the barracks at a place called Fort DeRussy, downtown Waikiki, right on Kawakawa Boulevard. I'm sure it's not there anymore. I'm sure it's gone. And there was a adult club down the street where we would let the girls park in the parking lot and say hi, young guys. Ooh, look, pretty girls. And we went down there, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, Christmas Day, and there's dancers in there, and there's Japanese tourists all over. These little Japanese tourist guys with their cameras, and and we're having a great time. We're having a few drinks. Well, a water fight breaks out. Well, one of the Japanese guys gets hit with a pitcher of water. He runs out. He calls the cops. Oh my gosh, the Americans are going crazy. Ah! Well, the cops come and arrest me, the other two guys that were with me dressed as Santa Claus, and now we're soaking wet, and 4 strippers. And we're sitting there on the bench, the proverbial bench at the police station on Waikiki Beach. And the one sergeant that was with us gave the sergeant major's name. Yeah, that's who we report to now, so we wouldn't get in trouble with our own unit. Sergeant Major walks in, and this guy's got a cigar the size of a chair leg sticking out of his face, matching Hawaiian shirt, Hawaiian shorts, and sandals and black socks. Buzz cut hairdo. He looks like if Fred Flintstone was a sergeant major. Just a block of a man, a fire plug. And he walks in and looks at us, and you could just see him go down the line and go, Santa Claus, stripper, stripper, Santa Claus, stripper, stripper. Okay. So he signs a paper. It says he'll punish us and do mean stuff. And on the way out, he leans over and he grabs my arm and he pulls it and he goes, one of these days, you're going to buy me a drink and you're going to tell me this story. Yes, Sergeant Major. And I tried my hardest never to work another Christmas again after that little girl. So went back to work. And this little number right here, that's a tattoo. I was giving a lady a citation for running, for not stopping for a school bus. And she goes, what does this say? She held it up like that, and when I leaned down in, she poked me in the face with my own big pen. And that sucker bled like I couldn't believe. So, of course, you take your fingers and you roll it under her nose. Try that sometime. That really hurts. And you grab her by the back of the head, and she helps me get around the car, cover. And guess whose wife she was? Some captain from the medical unit who went bananas. Because she stabbed me in the face. Assault with a deadly weapon. And I'm going to push charges. They went, no, Chad, if you let this one go, you'll be in trouble. Why am I in trouble? She's the one who stabbed me. But that's the Army. So many dumb things happened. I was involved the first time I got shot. Me and a sergeant were walking up on a house on a domestic disturbance, and the guy reached up and he unlatched the door and opened it up. He goes, "Can I help you, gentlemen?" And we go, "Yeah." The sergeant goes, "Yeah, we heard some loud noises," and the guy stuck his hand out. And he had one of those, they used to have these little pistols called Jennings. And the sergeant bolted for the side of the house to get cover and concealment. Shot him in the back. And as soon as I see it, boom, I go for the other corner. He leans out, shoots me right in the back. Bam! And I'm sitting there back. Oh, God, that really hurt. Thank God I was wearing a vest. I'll never not wear a vest again after that. And I'm like, oh, that really hurts. Oh, now I get to get him. Now I get to get this guy. So I come back around the corner, and the guy had taken the third bullet. And he's laying there on the ground. And, of course, we're both looking like tap dancers going, okay, we got to clear the house. Let's clear the house. And we go through the house. And the wife's sitting on the couch. He shot himself, didn't he? Yeah, she started telling us a big story about it. I go, okay, but you're all right? And she goes, yeah, I'm fine. He's been having some mental health issues, and, I never had any idea that he'd do this, Okay. So we go back outside. At the time, we were wearing the BDUs. Now we're wearing, it's Hawaii heat with humidity, and we're wearing these heavy-duty BDUs all day. So you take the BDU shirt off, and you've got it tucked with your gun belt. So your gun belt's now sagging like you're an old Western 6-gun shooter. take the t-shirt off, take the vest off. And I had a softball-sized yellow bruise that was just starting to work. And he did too. And, I remember that scene from Dude, Where's My Car? And we're going, dude, sweet, dude. And just look dumber than dirt. And here comes, when he had called it over the radio, we have shots fired, we have officers hit, we have a man down, need backup, support, and an ambulance. Of course, that brings everybody all the way up the chain of command. Because if an MP shoots somebody, that report's going to end up on the president's desk. So everybody's going to show up to go, so they can explain it to their higher-ups. Provost Marshal, who looked like, what's the best way to put it? Most of you probably won't know who Rosie Greer is. He was a big football player, big, round, big, beefy dude. And the Provost Marshal had a fro, a big one, because he would put his hat on and go, and it would sit on top of his fro. And you're like, that does not look professional at all, Sergeant, because he was a colonel. Who's going to tell a colonel, sir, your hair looks ridiculous, especially in the Army. Provost Marshal walks up. He goes, "Are you guys okay?" I go, "Yeah, we both took it in the back." And he looks down at the dead body. He goes, "Who shot him? Which one of you shot him?" And the sergeant I'm with looks the colonel right in the face and says, "Sir, we scared him so bad he shot himself." Blank face. No emotion. And it hung there for like a minute. The colonel's looking at both of us. "So neither of you shot him?" "No, sir, we didn't shoot him." Good. Jack off. And he walks in the house and he goes to talk to the wife and got the whole story. CID comes in right behind him. 4 guys in business suits. Here comes the sergeant major. And the sergeant major who had followed my career, because I'm effing Deneen. God, not effing Deneen again. God. Every time something dumb happens, it's effing Deneen. Yes, sir, it was Deneen. Effing Deneen? Yep, effing Deneen. You couldn't plan on that. You can't. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, I look like a whole dumbhead. The second shooting I was involved in was on a traffic stop. And we pull up, and the guy steps out of the car, and he's got a .357 Magnum with a barrel that was like 14 inches long. Just a ludicrous gun. And he goes, bang, 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 and he's shooting at us. And we have no idea where the bullets are going. We jump back behind the car, and we're like, and he fired his 6. And we jump out with our guns. "Freeze, drop the gun." And he's reloading, and we're like, "No, really, we're not kidding. Drop the gun." 1 bullet, 2 bullet, 3 bullet, 4 bullet. I'm not kidding. If you close that cylinder, I'm going to shoot you. He goes, 6. Click. Oh. That did it. I'm going to have to shoot you now. And he goes, "Fine." God dang. Cuff him. Take him in. The bullets had... When you shoot a bullet at a road, it doesn't go bang, zoom. It goes bang, 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 bang. When he had fired, it hit the oil pan and went in, hit there were several things wrong with that car. That car, he shot my car to death. So the car there's just a radiator fluid, oil, everything just rolling down the hill. Provost Marshal shows up, puts his hat on. So, "Did you guys shoot your weapon?" "No, sir, did not shoot our weapons." "Why not?" he looked so pathetic, sir. He was really trying really hard, and I just didn't want to crush him. And he goes, effing Deneen. And he goes, okay, so the guy's alive this time? Well, yeah. I'm not supposed to kill people, right? And just for a split second on his face, I could tell he goes, yeah, you're not supposed to kill people. Good thinking. Yeah, okay, everything worked out good. Okay. And we're looking, did he want us to shoot the guy? So you get that level of confusion going, like, no, I thought we did good in restraint and professionalism, and he seemed kind of disappointed we didn't shoot the guy. And you blow it off and you keep going. Well, at the end of my second year, I had more law enforcement experience than any of the other NCOs that came our way. Because most of these NCOs, when they got there, they would go to a unit or to a platoon. And then after a while, oh, we've got a new supply sergeant. Oh, we've got a new barracks administrator. We got a new, and they would move off into the easy, chintzy jobs. Being young enough, I stayed on the road, and I got a brand new staff sergeant in. And he'd actually been one of my drill sergeants years earlier. And he shows up and he goes, you look familiar. And I go, yeah, you're my drill sergeant. He goes, good, come on. So I guess I'm in charge of the platoon now. No, I'm in charge of the platoon. It's my platoon. He goes, okay, you've been in a while now. You see the E6 and you've got an E4? Yes, sergeant. And if you notice, you're assigned to my platoon. Look at the paperwork. He goes, that's a typo. I go, why don't you go talk to the first sergeant? And he comes back out, he goes, oh yeah, you're in charge. Okay, you're going to ride with me. We're going to see what's going on. First night, traffic accident. And I had gotten used to seeing dead bodies. It's something that I never want to see again. It's nothing I ever want to experience again. Because it was always suicide or traffic accidents. So we're at a traffic accident. A car had been coming down a hill. A lot of momentum. Boom. T-boned a truck. And the baby, the 18-month-old that was standing up in the back seat, was catapulted through the windshield down the road. And was not in good shape. And the official term that we use, death by assanguination, insides came out. So as we're going, okay, the ambulance shows up. He goes, okay, let's do a police call and let's account for all the body parts. The mother was dead, snap neck. Because unfortunately, when you go through a windshield, when you fall back in your seat, so you're collecting all this stuff, and the sergeant is looking at me, and he is gone as white as a sheet, looking at this horror. And he just looks at me, walks across the road, and violently throws up for 15 minutes. And we got back in the car when we were all done. And he's still white as a sheet, doesn't smell really good. And he's looking at me like, how often does this happen? And I go, maybe once a month. Really? I go, yeah, traffic accidents happen. People commit suicides. You're going to see a lot of this stuff. And as just an aside, still to this day, if I'm walking around, and there's a difference in smell of blood and a lot of blood. And there's a different smell between a wound and brains. And once you've smelled that, you'll never forget it. And police officers everywhere go, I know. That penny metal, because you can taste it in your mouth and through your nose, and you just go, blood. Still to this day, oh, if there's ever anything, I work at a hospital, and you go, ooh, talk about triggering the PTSD, boy. But the next day he was in supply. We had like 9 supply sergeants to do the job of one. You know what? You can't do it. You train people to be a field MP, and then you go to a law enforcement MP job. Yeah, that's a big difference. And a lot of these guys don't realize that, okay, we're not cops. We were never cops. We were security guards for a whole post. And so many guys were so aggressive and like, well, I'm going to get 100 tickets tonight. Why? Go home. You catch somebody drinking and driving, they pull on base. You go, okay, pull over. Okay, I'll make you a deal. Park your car in the parking lot right here, and you walk home. And I won't ruin your career. Thanks, man. And they're gone. Well, you got a friend. You don't have a negative, because every time you do anything in the military, there's 9 people who are going to complain about you. And I'd gotten tired of it, and I got out. And I thought, I'm going to go back to Mayberry RFD and be Andy Griffith, and it's going to be nice, and there's not going to be dead bodies, but things have changed, and I wouldn't want to be a police officer anymore. I mean, just the stuff you see on the news, and I'm amazed at the stuff they don't report. Doing security downtown San Antonio. So many things don't get reported. The ambulance shows up, picks a guy up, gone. And you go, oh, I'm going to read about that in the paper. Maybe might need it. Nothing. Being an MP, being a security guard, it's the same job, just at a different location. But and I always thought, once I got past being a superhero, I'm gonna save the day. I'm gonna be the cop. I'm gonna be Dirty Harry. A very wise man told me one day as I was bleeding on a curb. Nobody shoots at Andy Griffith. Everybody shoots at Dirty Harry. And that took a bit to sink in, but saying hi, hey, I got a little bit of a problem here. Can you help me out? Here's the situation, and this is what usually happens in that situation. Could you do me a big favor and go do this over here? I appreciate it, man. And people look at you like, I've had people go, why are you being so nice? They're looking for the camera, and I go, no, my pay stub doesn't say be a big jerk. It says solve problems. And I try to do that. I try to be not a terrible, terrible person. But I've seen that so much with people who want to be something. I want to be the hero. Well, cops who want to be the heroes are usually the worst cops in the world. Not that I know what a real cop is. But be yourself. Be nice. You give everybody one respectful moment, and it usually saves you so much baloney. Makes your day easier. Makes their day easier. I don't know how many guys go, oh, hey, thank you. And boom, they do it, and it's done. One guy in the last year, I was being very polite to him. And he goes, well, this is Texas. I do whatever I goddamn want here in Texas. And I go, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you twice. And that's when you do the blowfish. And you lean in with your solid eyes and you say, that's the rules, and I have to enforce it. And usually that's strike 2. You get the stinky eye. I'm too old to take a beating anymore. I'd rather be the nice guy. Please be a nice guy today to somebody. Show some respect. Open a door for a lady. Smile. Tell a funny story. Have a nice day.